Does anybody want to hear some good news? Does anybody want to hear an answer to prayer? Yes. Some good news from the Open Heaven Conference? Yes. All right, Joan, won't you come on up here? And Joan came up to me a couple of weeks back and she said, I have the story about the Open Heaven Conference, and she's been testing it out. And she said, I would love to give testimony. And I thought, well, why not? Why not today, in this moment, talk about prayer? And so go for it, Joan. Thank you.
Hello. Some of you will already know that almost 9 years ago, I had a ruptured aorta. It didn't burst, but it was leaking very badly, and I was blue lighted to Southampton Hospital. The surgeons told Mike I had very little chance of surviving it. He spent a long time on the telephone, texting, ringing people in this country and around the world, asking for prayer. I underwent a 9-hour operation, which I came through. I was then in an induced coma for 24 hours and in intensive care for another 2 days. After 5 days, I was allowed home on the road to recovery. The one downside of this recovery, I had a very irregular heartbeat, and they struggled to find out how to deal with this. But they tried 2 procedures, neither of them worked. So they decided it was too dangerous to do any more. So they said it was something I was going to have to live with. So the past 8 years, I've lived with this irregular heartbeat. Atrial fibrillation is the correct term for it. And so I've lived with this. So sometimes breathing has been difficult. Walking has been difficult. I certainly haven't been able to walk along and talk to somebody at the same time. Walking up hills has been difficult. I've often had to stop 3 or 4 times to catch my breath, and stairs also. So that's how life has been for the last 8 years, but it hasn't stopped me doing many things. At the Open Heaven Conference in October, I think it was the afternoon session, Roy Godwin said he wanted us to bless each other. So we were all asked to face each other, stand up and face each other. And he was going to say sentences, and we were going to say them after him. So we started off 3 or 4 sentences. I bless you in the name of Jesus, and so on. And I think we got to about the 5th one. And I'm going to read this so that I get it right. I bless you in the name of Jesus, that you may be strengthened and healed, so that you are free to walk in the joy of the Lord. And we repeated this after him. And I had such a ringing of an angelic choir in my ears, and I knew something was happening to me. I wasn't sure what it was, but something was happening to my whole body. I really didn't hear anything else that he said. I didn't need to. The angels were there with me. So I stayed to the end of the afternoon session, and I went home. Mike wasn't here because he wasn't well. So when I got home, I said to Mike, something amazing's happened to me, and I think my breathing's better, but I'm really going to have to test this out. So the following week, when we were out walking, I said to Mike, do you think I'm walking better? Yes, he said, and you're talking at the same time. Oh, I said, well, that's a really good sign. I said, we'll see what else we can do. So the next week, we were in Bournemouth, and we were at the top of Commercial Road. So he said, are you all right? I said, yes. He said, turn round. He said, do you see, you've just walked all the way up Commercial Road. He said, are you out of breath? I said, no. I said, I think the Lord has healed me. So we had a nice hug and a prayer in the middle of Commercial Road at the time. So I know the Lord has healed me. But just as if I needed any more confirmation, I had my annual checkup with the doctor this last week. So she said she did all the usual things, and everything seemed to be all right. And then she said, I can't find any irregular heartbeat. Wow. So I said, oh, no, you won't, because I've been healed. So I told her my story, and her reply was, well, I haven't got a faith, and I don't believe in miracles, but this must be a miracle. Wow. So I'm praising the Lord and thanking King Jesus for my healing.